jars of Moo Moo milk and just one moment, I'm just finishing up a bit of inventory. Just a second. And where are those? 1, 2, 3, and 4. Alright, there they are, old runs. And check. Well, how can I help you? You're out awfully late, traveling the routes by night, I can see. Well, it's sometimes the best time to travel if you're looking to avoid some of the would-be challenging trainers or just some of the crowds on more busy routes or pathways. So depending on what your purpose is for the evening, it can be a great time to travel. But lucky for you, it's an even better time to shop at the Poké Mart here because it's late and it's not as crowded. So welcome, and how can I help you? Alright, just looking for a bit of a restock. Well, that's great. You've come to the right place because we have the stock. So let me show you through our wares and let you know what our specials are that we have on sale and see if there's anything that I can help you with. How does that sound? Perfect. Okay, well, we have our specials and our sale items here at the front counter. Of course, if you do have anything that you've ordered and had sent here to the Poké Mart for pickup, let me know. I can go pick it up from the storeroom. We also have some of our more specialty items that we usually don't have set up front, like our fishing rods, bicycles, things like that. Yes, we actually do carry a few, usually resale bicycles. If you want a new bicycle or anything, of that nature, that's more on the, I guess, premium side. You'll probably want to go to the local bike shop, but if it's just something to get you by in the meantime, we usually have what you need. But with the items here in mind, we have a plethora of different things that you might need on your travels for a trainer like yourself. We have a lot of items that really can make the difference in battles or just your random encounters out there in the wilderness. So let me just start with the essentials and just stop me if there's anything that you need restocked on. Of course, we have our variety of potions that you see here. Yeah, no problem. I can walk you through all of the details. I know it's sometimes nice just to experience that really friendly customer service that a lot of places really just lack, these days. So yeah, I can walk you through everything. You're the only one here this time of night, so it's not a problem. Sure. Well, the first thing that we have here is the regular potion. That's right. Well, you definitely know your stuff. The regular potion, it usually will heal just a little bit of HP, a moderate amount. But if you have some beginner Pokemon or Pokemon that maybe have just hatched from an egg, or something that you just caught, or if you were just starting out your adventure with your starter Pokemon from the Pokemon Lab, these regular potions are really all you'll need and should really do the trick in healing your Pokemon up to top fighting shape. Yes, so these start at 2 gold. Right, of course we use the standardized gold currency here in this region, so I'm sure you're well aware if you're traveling through. Right, yes, you can hear that all of the potions are freshly filled and are brimming with those healing properties that your loyal Pokemon so much deserve. Right, so you're just going to press with your thumb on the back and then just a nice press on that front. Of course, I won't press hard enough for it to actually spritz right now because you're not a Pokemon and you don't need healing, hopefully. But just a nice press on that button there and it will deliver a nice spritz to your Pokemon. You can usually get about anywhere from 2 to 4 sprays per bottle depending on how badly injured your Pokemon is, and hopefully if you're a good trainer that takes good care of your Pokemon, you will never be in a situation in which you have to use an entire bottle in one application. Next we have the Super Potion, and bear with me, I will get to the specialty items, including some of the nice new medicines that we have. If you will just bear with me a moment. But if you do have some more high-level Pokemon, or Pokemon that are a bit more adept in the hit point category, the Super Potion might just be the way to go. And how do I put this delicately? If you are an individual that, well, is overflowing in coin, then if it were me and my Pokemon, and I was financially able to do so, I would usually go for the Super Potion rather than the traditional potion, if possible, just because the slight increase, or I should say moderate increase in price, really is well worth the substantial amount of HP that it will heal in comparison to the regular potion. So this, if using it for an application similar to the traditional potion, it can easily get at least 8 uses. Now, if you have a stronger Pokemon that requires just a bit more substantial healing, then this will usually get your 2 to 4 spritzes there. So if you have a large amount of lower level Pokemon, this will go a long way. If you have a little bit more moderately leveled to almost higher level Pokemon, this will be kind of the starting point you want to be at. And last but not least, we do have the Hyper Potion. Now this, I must warn you, is the more premium option. It's quite expensive in comparison to the potion as well as the Super Potion, but the amount of healing properties in each of these vials is well worth the price if you have the means to purchase it. This could easily get 12 to 15 spritzes for a potion-sized healing application. It can get you anywhere from 8 to 10 applications of the Super Potion dose. And for even the highest up to max level Pokemon, this will get you that traditional 2 to 4, but in my experience it's more like 3 to 4. I have rarely only gotten 2 uses out of a Hyper Potion. So if you have some high level Pokemon or intend to partake in some extremely rigorous battles and you have the coin to spare, I think the Hyper Potion might be the right option for you. Alright, so we'll just swing back by the potions later after I run you through everything. So, in terms of other healing type items, we do have a fresh, and I do mean fresh, batch of Poké Food here. They're not quite Poké Blocks. They're more of almost like a kibble-based pellet food. Now, these of course will not satiate more predatory Pokemon like your Staraptor or things like a Persian. These are more for your smaller variety. Rodent type Pokemon love this type of food, but even Pokemon that are just more omnivorous. Rattata love this Poké Food. You have your Nidoran, even up to Nidorino and Nidorina. They love it. We have other Pokemon, most starting level Pokemon will enjoy it. Doduo, or more of your passive bird type Pokemon, really enjoy it. So if you have a Pokemon that really anything other than a primarily meat eating Pokemon, I think they will really enjoy this kibble. It's expertly crafted by our local Poké Food experts, and it's seared in their furnaces to get a nice hardened texture that is really nice for on-the-go snacks. You can just simply pop the cork, dump a few pieces into the hand, maybe one more, and then either feed your Pokemon by hand or place it in a dish or a bowl, anything like that. So this is great for travels. The vial is small. It can go into a pouch on your shirt, vest, belt, or into a slot in your backpack, purse, anything like that. So if you will be traveling for an extended period of time and you're not sure when the next time that you'll have an opportunity to light up a campfire and cook a proper meal or stop at a restaurant, Poké Center, or inn, then these are really a great option just for that on-the-go snack to keep your Pokemon satiated, full of energy, and above all else, happy. I would try to keep it away from moisture the best you can. The hardened, well-cooked nature of this kibble doesn't lend itself well to becoming wet, so try to keep it dry, keep it in a nice safe place that's well out of reach of the elements. So if you do need some food or something like that, then this is a great option. In terms of vitamins, we do have a large variety of different types of vitamins here. We don't have as large of a kind of, selection as your Pokemon centers will, or vitamin shops that specialize in that sort of thing. But the vitamins that we do have on hand, I believe, and I can check the inventory to be sure if you need. But I know we have Carbos. We have, what was it? Oh, I think we have some protein, and I believe some iron, if I am remembering correctly. But these are great if, and I'm sure you know, if you're a skilled Pokemon trainer, these are great for really increasing the capabilities of your Pokemon over time. It's best if given early on in their training cycle, and that way they can really grow into the effects over time. They can offer a bit of support in a pinch in the temporary time span, but like I said, it's better off if they're given and administered consistently. So if you do need some protein, Carbos, or iron, we do have them in stock. Of course, this is the Carbos specifically. Alright, and I guess next on our specialty shelf, this is more of a, not really a necessity, but I guess a luxury item. This is a badge case. Excuse me. This is for, you guessed it, holding badges. So I know I didn't ask because I usually don't like to pry too much into a trainer's business, but I did notice the Poké Balls there on your belt and that small pouch there hanging on the side. I could assume that you might be challenging some of the gyms along your travels. Would I be correct? I thought so. Well, in that case, you can't go wrong with a protective traveling case for your well-earned badges. This case, as you can hear, is quite hard-shelled and will protect your badges from the elements as well as shock. As you can see, it has a nice foam interior with snug slots for each of the pins on the backside of your badges. So this will help absorb the shock of your travels if you were to be unfortunate enough to have a fall. This isn't going to shatter and destroy any of your hard-earned badges. This will keep them safe and protected. As you can hear, that quality is really high. And as you can hear, there is a nice snugginess to the closing feature of that case. And the outside of the case offers a nice indication of what it's used for, and it's small and slender enough that it can be slipped into really any pouch of any traditional traveling bag or pouch or anything like that, or just inside a vest or really anywhere. But I can wholeheartedly recommend it if you do take your badge collecting seriously. Yes, feel free to take a listen. It's really nice. We have a nice sales price. The last kind of specialty item that we have before we get back to your Pokeball essentials, we do have these nice collapsible Pokeballs. These, I'm sure you've seen some of the more classic OG trainers utilize these. These are traditional Pokeballs in the sense in which they operate, but they shrink down to a more manageable size for your belt. So if you were to click that button there, and I won't because there isn't a Pokeball inside, or a Pokemon inside rather, they stay small until they actually capture their first Pokemon. Then they shrink back down, after which so you can click that button and it will expand to its regular size before you throw it. So these are really good to clasp on your belt, and you could easily house 6 or more on a much smaller real estate than the traditional sized Pokeballs, which you really have to carry in a bag or only 1, maybe 2 on your belt. But these are really nice, once again, for on-the-go travel, and like I said, they kind of show a bit of class and history to those who come upon you on your travels, because a lot of the original kind of world famous Pokemon trainers utilized these, and So it's kind of a cool notoriety piece. As you can hear, they are quite empty right now, so the price would be substantially more if they did have Pokemon inside. Right, yeah. They operate in the exact same way that a regular Pokeball does, aside from the, of course, collapsible feature. All right. Well, just like the other items, let me know if you are interested in those when we swing back around. And of course, back to the necessities. What would a Pokemon adventure be without a traditional Pokeball? We have several options. We have the traditional Pokeball here for your regular and more common Pokemon capturing needs. These, of course, are good for low to mid-level Pokemon. You can obviously catch any type of Pokemon in them, but the rate in which they would be successful is greatly diminished the higher the Pokemon level is. Obviously, you know that you need to weaken any Pokemon first, except extremely inadequate Pokemon or low-level Pokemon, but the Pokeball is a staple of any adventure, and they are quite more economically friendly than some of the other options. So if you have a bulk order or you need to largely restock your inventory, then the regular common Pokeballs are a great choice for that. And we have many in stock. One thing that I must regretfully inform you is that we are actually out of Great Balls at the time, or at this time we did have a trainer come through yesterday evening and buy out our entire stock, so I hope they capture enough Pokemon to make it worth it, because it was quite the large, bulk order for their adventure to carry around. But we do have the Ultra Ball, which is the next step up from the Great Ball. So since we don't actually have any Great Balls in stock, we are, for a brief period of time, selling the Ultra Balls at a reduced rate to try to help our customers out with that inconvenience. The Ultra Balls are your premier destination for all of your catching needs, no matter the level of the Pokemon. The Ultra Ball will always give you the best possible chance for capture. So if you have a really rare Pokemon that you're after, or if you just want to make sure that your favorite Pokemon does not go uncaptured, then the Ultra Ball is definitely the way you should go. Of course, it's a bit more expensive, but tonight, with it being on sale, it might be the perfect time to take the plunge. And our one specialty ball that we do have available, of course we don't have as many of the specialty Pokeballs available here that you would find at a specialty Pokeball shop, but we were able to get our hands on one Dusk Ball, which these are quite rare, and they really are great for catching Pokemon in caves or dark type of Pokemon, anything like that. But it's really all in the name. But the Dusk Ball is going to be the best friend of a trainer who's going to spend a lot of times in dark and damp caves. because who wants to be stuck against, coming up against 500 Zubat without the help of a dusk ball? And they just look kind of cool. It's always a nice conversation starter and something that catches the eye of an admirer or a rival alike. And as with any Poké Mart, with purchase of any Poké Ball variety, you do get a complimentary Premier Ball. These don't offer any type of catching assistance other than more than a traditional Pokeball, but they just look a bit different and really are just a celebration of your most recent purchase. So it's kind of just a neat little alternative option. All right. Well, so is there anything that you've seen that you need? One of the potions, the badge case, any of the Pokeballs or collapsible balls, vitamins, Poké Food? All right, so you'll take a super potion. It's a great choice. 2 of the collapsible Pokeballs. These are 2 gold apiece, and we have 3 gold for the super potion. So that brings your total to 7. And you'll take the Ultra Ball. We have it discounted for 3 gold this evening. It's honestly a steal. So that brings you to 10 gold. Alright. And it looks like you have all of your gold neatly stacked in a pouch. Perfect. Well, and you have the 2 gold denominations of the currency. That makes it a bit easier to count. So allow me just a moment. We have 2, 4, 6, 8, and 10. And I will return the rest to you. Thank you very much. And please do enjoy your items. We have them all here. Do you need a gift bag or anything like that before you go? You're just going to place them in your bag. Perfect. Well, thank you so much for stopping by. Good luck on your travels, and please come by and see us anytime that you're in the area. And good luck on your captures, and hopefully you don't need your super potion too soon. All right, take care. I'm just going to get back to my inventory. Okay, so where was that escape rope? Okay, 6 of those. And full.